She never said his name, never uttered a word, not a hi, not an I love you, not even a sound. Lily was nonverbal, autistic, and to most of the world, unreachable. But her older brother, Noah, didn't need words to know she was trying. He could see it in her eyes, in the way her fingers tapped rhythms on the table, in how she looked at him like he was the only person who understood her silence. So Noah made a decision. If the world couldn't give his sister a voice, he'd build her one himself. At just 15, he created something no one expected, a communication system that not only changed Lily's life, but gave thousands of nonverbal children across the country a way to be heard. And it all started with a hand-drawn icon and a hug. But how did a teenage boy with no formal training do what professionals had failed to do for years? And what did he unlock, not just in Lily, but in himself? Stay with us, because this isn't just the story of a sister who couldn't speak. It's the story of a brother who refused to stop listening. Lily was diagnosed at 2 years old. The signs were all there. No words, no pointing, no response when her name was called. She wouldn't make eye contact. She'd rock for hours in the corner of the room, her hands fluttering like moth wings against her cheeks. Doctors said she was severely autistic, nonverbal, possibly intellectually disabled. Her parents were handed a list of therapies, a stack of pamphlets, and a warning. Prepare for the possibility that she may never communicate. To the outside world, Lily was defined by what she couldn't do. Couldn't speak, couldn't play, couldn't connect. But her older brother, Noah, just 9 years old at the time, didn't see couldn't. He saw Lily blink 3 times when she wanted something. He noticed she tapped her fingers in threes when she was upset. He caught how she would reach for the color blue when she was calm and pull away from red when she was overwhelmed. To him, it wasn't random. It was patterned. It was intentional. It was communication. While everyone else tried to force Lily into their language, Noah wondered if they should be learning hers. He started carrying a notebook everywhere, jotting down what made her laugh, what sounds made her flinch, what order she lined up her toys in after every meltdown. To everyone else, Lily was silent. To Noah, she was screaming in a language no one had ever tried to learn. But what he didn't realize yet was that his quiet observation would lead to something far bigger than a breakthrough. It would become the foundation of a voice that would echo far beyond their home. It happened on a Thursday afternoon. Lily had been having a hard day. The lights were too bright, the air too cold, the hallway too loud. She had shut down completely, no eye contact, no movement, just sitting on the floor, rocking, humming one soft note on repeat. Noah had seen this before, but this time, he was ready. He reached into his backpack and pulled out something he'd been working on for days. A sheet of simple hand-drawn symbols, each one laminated and velcroed in place. They weren't fancy, just pictures. A sun for outside, a spoon for snack, a heart for hug. Noah didn't say anything. He didn't force her to speak. He just slid the sheet in front of her and waited. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then slowly, Lily reached forward. Her hand hovered over the sheet and tapped the heart. Then she looked up, right at him. Noah's eyes filled with tears, not because she had said anything out loud, but because she had finally said something. She had chosen, and in that choice was trust, connection, voice. That night, Noah didn't sleep, not because he was worried, but because he was awake with purpose. He sketched all night, new symbols, new colors, new ideas, because he realized something profound. Lily wasn't broken, the tools were, and if no one else was going to build what she needed, he would. But what started as a handmade board for one little sister was about to become something much bigger, a tool that would speak for thousands. Noah didn't stop with a sheet of symbols. He built more, pages filled with colors, pictures, emotions, actions, questions. He laminated them all, sorted them by themes, feelings, food, places, needs. Soon Lily could say more than just hug. She could tell him she was sad. She could ask for her favorite toy. She could tell him without a single spoken word, "I'm here, I understand, I want to connect." But Noah knew this wasn't enough. He wanted her to speak through something that didn't just exist on paper. So he started learning to code. At age 15, he downloaded a basic programming platform and spent hours teaching himself how to turn symbols into sound. He created an app prototype, rough, clunky at first. But when he uploaded the audio and Lily pressed music for the first time, and the app said music aloud in a calm, clear voice, Lily giggled. She pressed it again and again, then tapped outside, then Noah. It was the first time her family had ever heard her name spoken from her own choice. Noah refined the app. He added more functions, color options, personalized icons. He called it LilyTalk because it was built for her and with her. It worked so well that Lily's school asked for a copy, then a local autism center, then parents from online support groups began messaging him. "How did you make this? Can my child use it? Can you help us too?" So Noah made it free. No ads, no sign up, no catch. He just wanted what Lily had, to matter, to be heard. And within months, families across the country were downloading LilyTalk. Children who had never communicated before were finally able to say things like, "I'm scared. I love you. I want more time." Noah had built something world-changing, and he had done it not with funding or fame, but with one quiet promise to his sister: "I'll never stop trying to hear you." But even as LilyTalk spread far beyond what Noah imagined, he had no idea what was coming next. A moment that would test everything he believed about love, leadership, and letting go. For every success, there were setbacks. The more LilyTalk grew, the more people expected from Noah. He was invited to conferences, but he hated public speaking. He received emails from desperate parents, but some days he barely had time for homework. Journalists called him a genius, but he still felt like a kid fumbling his way through a problem no one else wanted to solve. And sometimes he missed being just a brother. There were nights when Lily still had meltdowns, times when she threw the tablet in frustration, sobbing in a way that reminded him, even now, they were still navigating a world that didn't know how to meet her halfway. Noah began to question everything. Was he doing enough? Had he promised too much? What if the app helped others, but failed his own sister? He tried to keep smiling, to be the role model everyone saw online, but in private he was tired, exhausted from translating the world for Lily and explaining Lily to the world. And yet he never gave up, because every time she used the app to choose joy over silence, every time she tapped a word instead of screaming in distress, every time she reached for him instead of withdrawing, Noah was reminded this was working, not perfectly, not magically, but honestly. Because love isn't about fixing someone, it's about walking beside them on the hard days, the quiet ones, and everything in between. But just as Noah began to find balance again, a letter arrived that would shift the entire mission, forcing him to make a decision no 17-year-old should have to make. Noah never set out to become an inventor, an advocate, or a voice for the voiceless. He just wanted his sister to feel less alone, to know that someone saw her. He wasn't trying to change the world, just hers. But somewhere along the way, the world began to change too. Because Lily wasn't just using the app, she was blossoming with it. She laughed more, asked for things she'd never had words for before, said, "I love you" for the first time through a tap and a tone Noah had recorded himself. And for Noah, that wasn't just communication, that was connection. Proof that love doesn't need volume, it just needs consistency. He realized that the most important thing he'd ever built wasn't the app, it was trust. He had told Lily without words, "I will meet you where you are and I won't leave until you're ready to come with me." That promise, it changed everything, not just for them, but for families across the country who no longer felt alone in the silence. And yet, as Noah approached graduation, another question began to echo louder in his mind. What comes next? Because Lily still needed him, but so did the world he had quietly begun to build. Noah didn't wait for a perfect solution. He didn't wait for permission. He just loved his sister enough to try. And in that trying, he built a bridge between two worlds, one where silence was once mistaken for absence, and another where every tap, every symbol, every shared look became a conversation. He proved that you don't need credentials to create change. You don't need a title to lead. You just need devotion and the courage to show up every day, especially when it's hard. So, if you've ever felt invisible, if you've ever loved someone whose world seemed locked behind silence, if you've ever wondered whether your effort matters, remember Noah and remember Lily, because your small acts of care, they could be the foundation for someone else's freedom. Share this story because someone out there needs hope and might not know it exists yet. Leave a comment. We read everyone. Your words might be the spark that helps another family feel seen. And subscribe to Able in Every Way for more stories of love, quiet courage, and the extraordinary people who remind us that disability doesn't limit possibility. It reveals it, because sometimes the most powerful voices don't come from the loudest people, but from those who never stop listening.